Hey YouTubers, this is Rob Moffett. I haven't done a treasure video in a long time, so let's see if we can do one today. This is to me, one of the more interesting areas in South Florida to do some treasure hunting with a metal detector, and that's Little River, Florida. A specific site in Little River. Little River is one of the 4 rivers in Dade County. To the south you have Miami River, then you have Little River and Arch Creek, and the Oneida River, which used to be called Snake Creek. But today we're going to look at Little River. Here's Little River coming through Dade County, ending right here, and over here is Miami Beach. This is one of the more interesting areas right about here. Now we've got the railroad tracks here, and this is the saltwater dam, and here's 2nd Avenue. About 250 yards east of 2nd Avenue, there was a man back in 1842. He and his family came, and he this was right after the Seminole War ended, and he petitioned the government to acquire 140 acres here. And when he petitioned the government, he had to make a map. And when he made a map, he put on the map an old mill east of his property on the river here. And there had been some instances of people indicating that there had been 7 English families here on this stretch of the river, and we don't know where they came from or what happened to them. This would have been around about 1740s, quite a long time ago. Like I said, right along this river. The interesting thing about this river, it's been inhabited by Indians for centuries. Over here in this section there's an old Indian mound, and right along this part of the river there were at one time springs that came out so strong it doubled the strength of flow of the water of the river, and it could overturn boats and canoes. It was so strong. Like I said, the man, his name was Alva Woods. He purchased or petitioned to get this property from the government, and on his map he drew that there was a mill to the east of him, an old mill, the ruins of it. There was a woman named Sears who lived in this area as far back as 1870, and she said she was shown pieces of pottery that were found in this settlement area by the Indians. So here's what we have happening. The rivers here in Dade County, these were the main highways. You would travel east to west on the rivers to get to the Everglades, and you could go north and south. The other way to travel would be over on the beach. And if you leave the mouth of the river and go across to Miami Beach, the early settlers, they had a place where they would go to access the ocean, because Miami Beach was all mangrove. And there was a little inlet over here on the beach they called the crocodile hole. It had crocodiles in it. And they could actually access the beach, and this was people go up and down the beach walking. They'd get that little inlet, they'd go through the hole, and they could come across the bay over here to the river. And this was a main thoroughfare for early settlers and Indians for centuries. Like I said, most of the area here was swamp, or it was hard to get through vegetation. You take your canoes and get out here to the Everglades, then you go north and south in the bay and the beach. But like I said, this area here, right where the Little River is, you had settlements for centuries by the Indians. You can't locate anything at the Indian mound because it's against law, but here this has private property. I would ask these owners if you could look on their property with your metal detector. But even more interesting to me is over here where you had the springs, and the water came up so fast it would overturn small boats. So for centuries you had the possibility of boats overturning in this area. What could be under here? Plus you had 7 families that may have lived here. They left in a hurry. What did they leave behind? What did they leave in the river or underground there? This is, me, one of the more interesting areas. And when you go down this river, when you turn off 2nd and go down 86th Street, you can just tell there's something there. All the streets of Miami, they're straight, narrow, flat. But this little street is one of the oldest streets here in Miami. It's all curved, and it's bumpy. It goes up and down, left and right, and it's full of old oak hammock. it's old growth material. This is a really interesting place to look. I think if I was here, if I get permission from some of the people that live here, I'd think it'd be a great place to look at. But even more interesting to me is what's under the water here. What was left behind, what fell in the water, what was put there, what happened when boats overturned here. I think this is a very interesting place to look. So this is just another tip. I hope you guys like my videos. I have a little CD that I sell treasure hunting material on. It's on eBay for just a few dollars. It's got tons of old books you can access electronically and find using words really quick how to find things. And there's old maps. Some of these maps are like the ones Mel Fisher used to find his treasure wrecks of 1715 off Florida, and a bunch of hundreds of old postcards from 1900s that you can find places that don't exist anymore and that you can use to locate with your metal detector. Interesting finds. Hope you like my videos. Hope you take time to subscribe. This is just another little treasure hunting tip video. I have several on eBay. Hope you like them. Hope you come back and visit again. Thanks everybody.